All right, last day of E3. We're all tired, but we are very, very happy to be sitting here in the Atlus booth talking to Aram about Catherine. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, a lot of our readership love the Atlus brand. They've played Persona, whether it be on their PS2s or on their PSPs, and they're all abuzz about Catherine. But for those who may not know about it, can you tell us a little bit about what Catherine is?
Sure. It's hard to describe exactly what Catherine is. So Catherine is, it actually refers to the titular character that you can see behind me, and I have to be very careful how I pronounce that word. The game circles around Vincent, 32-year-old computer programmer who has been in a relationship with a girl also called Catherine, spelled with a K, for 5 years. He ends up feeling pressured by her to commit, and he goes out for a night of drinks with his friends. He has one too many, and the next morning he wakes up next to this girl. So that's where the game begins. It is a very story-heavy, narrative-driven adventure/puzzle game. It's an exploration of the horrors and the psychology of commitment and of love and relationships and romance. So that's where the game, I mean, that's in a nutshell. It's an action-adventure/puzzle game. But the reality of it is that the gameplay, where you're kind of, the core of the interactive gameplay, you're climbing this tower of blocks in your nightmares as Vincent, is really full of symbolism and metaphors for his fears, his state of mind, and again, a statement on relationships and commitment.
So, in a sense, this is a coming-of-age story as well, isn't it?
To some degree, it's really more. I mean, he's not a hero, all right. He's not a hero. He's not out to save the world. He's not out to save other people. He's really out to just save himself. And it's more the story of a man who wants to keep life as simple and as complicated as possible, and he's not really ready to grow and take the next step. And maybe because of that perspective, who knows, life ends up dealing him the cards where everything gets complicated, exactly the opposite of what he wants. And obviously the end goal, and you'd hope, is that the character, you grow from something like this. And the players watching the story unfold and watching what Vincent ends up doing, the schadenfreude aside of kind of taking glee in his misery, I think that the objective is to make the player think about their own perspective on these things.
Interesting. Now, obviously, judging by the fabulous pair behind us, this is a game for the more mature players. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's an M-rated game, and it's also a definitely adult subject matter. But it is not explicitly sexual. There's no explicit nudity. It's all suggested, and in fact, I'd go so far as to say it's mostly just teasing, which is kind of in line with the spirit of the game. Some of the predicaments that Vincent finds himself in are ridiculous. And I think people can sometimes say it's relatable that they find themselves in these interpersonal situations that are so silly so as to be funny, so absurd so as to be humorous.
Well, one thing Atlus is well known for is the fabulous music that accompanies their game. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Shoji Meguro, who is responsible for countless amazing soundtracks in the Atlus line of games, the Persona games, Shin Megami Tensei games, he is the composer, and it is an amazing mix of classical music that's been slightly adapted, a mix of this really catchy pop where if you played Persona 3 and you're familiar with some of this, you'll feel right at home with the sound. That combines with the artwork of Shigenori Soejima, who did the character design for Persona 3, Persona 4, and I mean, the look of this game is unlike anything anyone has seen, which complements the fact that it plays and it has a story unlike anything anyone's played or seen. It all comes together to create a very unique experience, and we're excited to say that if you pre-order either the standard version or the deluxe edition, you get a pre-order bonus art book and soundtrack at participating retailers. It has the art of Soejima-san and the music of Meguro-san, and it's kind of a nice bonus when you look at just how cool the music and art is on its own.
You're reading my mind. I was just about to ask you that. But let me ask you, when does it release? Do we have a firm date yet?
Yes, Catherine is set to release July 26th in a standard and deluxe flavor for both the PS3 and the 360.
Great. Well, Aram, it was fabulous talking to you, and we look forward to Catherine.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.